Todd Chrisley reveals prison pet peeve and shocking details about life behind bars. Todd and Julie Chrisley are finally speaking out in detail about their time behind bars, and their revelations are shedding new light on what life was really like on the inside. During a candid appearance on their daughter Savannah Chrisley's Unlocked podcast on July 1st, the Chrisley Knows Best stars got brutally honest about their prison experiences, from unfair treatment to emotional struggles and everything in between. Todd, 56, who served time at Federal Prison Camp Pensacola in Florida, didn't hold back as he opened up about what irritated him most during his 2-year sentence. While he said he had relatively little conflict with other inmates, he admitted that getting along with prison staff was another story entirely. "I told staff off," Todd confessed bluntly. "I told COS and staff off." According to him, many of the correctional officers had an arrogant attitude and seemed to take pleasure in the discomfort of the inmates, something he simply wouldn't tolerate. "I was surrounded by miserable human beings," Todd continued. "And every day I got up and it was my sole intent to make their life even more miserable because they were there to make our lives miserable." He even mentioned filing administrative complaints, known in prison slang as a BP-8, against staff he felt were treating inmates unfairly. "I would have put a BP-8 on his A," Todd added, making it clear that he refused to remain silent in the face of mistreatment. Julie, 52, who was held at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky, had a slightly different experience but still encountered her share of challenges. Todd joked that Julie must have been up there being Miss Pollyanna, referencing the eternally optimistic character from Eleanor H. Porter's 1913 novel. But even she couldn't escape conflict with staff. Savannah, 27, recalled a troubling incident that happened early in Julie's sentence. "I will never forget at the very beginning, you called me, and you were all to pieces because that one CO," Savannah recounted emotionally. "He locked her in the cafeteria." Julie confirmed the shocking story and revealed the staff member responsible worked in food service. "Yeah. He's since retired," she added with a hint of relief. Savannah went a step further, alleging that the correctional officer deliberately locked her mother in as a form of punishment because he was pissed off at her. While the Federal Bureau of Prisons did not comment on the specific allegations, a representative from FMC Lexington stated to People that humane treatment of the men and women in our custody is a top priority. Still, Julie didn't mince words when describing the man who locked her in. "He was just a miserable human being, he really was," she said, with Todd quickly chiming in. "They all are." The Chrisleys also opened up about the internal social politics among inmates, revealing that not everyone in prison was trustworthy. Todd was particularly disturbed by inmates who cozied up to correctional officers and staff, often at the expense of their fellow prisoners. "They'd go tell on everyone else," he explained. "And I would say to them, what in your mind makes you think that they're your friends? It is us against them." Julie agreed and added, "They are not your friends, that's for sure." The famous couple was first sentenced in January 2023 after being found guilty in 2022 of tax evasion, bank fraud, and conspiracy charges. Together, they faced a combined 19 years behind bars. However, their sentences were later reduced by about 2 years each, bringing a sliver of hope to their ongoing legal battle. Despite multiple attempts to appeal their convictions, the true turning point came when former President Donald Trump granted Todd and Julie full pardons on May 27, 2025. The decision was met with both shock and praise from fans and critics alike. The couple returned home the following day and have continued to assert their innocence ever since. Their post-prison life has been one of reflection and speaking out. The Unlocked podcast appearance marks a significant step in their public comeback as they use their platform to shed light on what they describe as the harsh and dehumanizing conditions of the prison system. It's clear that their time behind bars has changed them, not just as public figures but as people. Todd's combative stance against staff mistreatment and Julie's quiet endurance in the face of intimidation paint a portrait of two individuals deeply impacted by the American justice system. As they reclaim their lives and reputations, the Chrisleys are determined to share their story, support others who may be facing similar challenges, and continue fighting for justice. Whether or not the public is ready to forgive and forget remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the Chrisleys won't be staying silent.